story that reads like a scene from a cinematic blockbuster. Acclaimed actor Wang and the beloved actress Tan Songyun have soared beyond stardom, this time not on screen, but in the skies. When turbulence struck mid-flight on a routine journey from Shanghai to Beijing, no one on board could have imagined that two of China's most recognizable faces, co-piloting for a special charity event, would be the ones to take control of the cockpit and steer a flight away from disaster. The flight that turned into a test of courage. The event was meant to be symbolic, a star-studded awareness campaign titled Fly for the Future, supporting youth aviation scholarships. As part of the promotion, Wang and Tan Songyun, both trained in basic flight simulation for the event, were to sit in the cockpit alongside professional pilots for a smooth and uneventful demonstration flight. But fate had a different plan. Just 30 minutes into the flight, the aircraft encountered unexpected and severe turbulence. Lightning flashed outside the windows, oxygen masks dropped, and passengers screamed in fear. Reports would later confirm that the aircraft had flown directly into an aggressive storm cell that hadn't appeared on initial weather radars. Even more alarming, the pilot suffered a sudden health emergency, later diagnosed as a seizure, and was unable to continue flying. Rising above fear, when stars became saviors. With a co-pilot frantically trying to stabilize the aircraft and cabin crew attempting to calm the chaos inside, a voice came from behind. "Let us help." It was Wang calm but firm, with Tan Songyun right beside him. Flight simulator training wasn't meant to prepare them for this, but instinct, courage, and hours of immersive prep kicked in. With the real co-pilot also battling disorientation, flight attendants made a decisive call. Wang and Tan Songyun were escorted to the captain's seat. What followed was an extraordinary display of teamwork under pressure. Tan Songyun, typically seen with a bright smile in romantic dramas, showed unwavering grit as she worked the radio, kept communication with air traffic control, and monitored systems. Wang ever the picture of stoicism and focus, kept his hands steady on the controls. His voice was heard saying, "We've got this. Stay with me," to Songyun, as the plane jolted violently again. A race against the storm. For nearly 20 minutes, the aircraft remained caught in a battle against nature. Wang carefully leveled the plane, correcting altitude and regaining stability. Tan Songyun relayed every instruction from ATC, her voice crisp and composed even as the cabin trembled behind them. It was like watching a real-life drama unfold, one passenger later shared. "We were crying, praying, and then we heard over the speaker. We are under control. We're descending safely." I don't think I've ever felt that kind of relief in my life. Their ability to stabilize the aircraft gave air traffic control time to guide them to an emergency landing strip at Tianjin Binhai International Airport. Emergency crews lined the tarmac, unsure of what would emerge from the thick clouds. But when the plane's wheels touched ground, smoothly, without a single bounce, a wave of disbelief and applause erupted inside the cabin. The aftermath: tears, hugs, and thunderous applause. As the doors opened, passengers disembarked, some weeping, others stunned into silence. But the moment everyone will remember was seeing Wang and Tan Songyun step out of the cockpit, exhausted but smiling, hand in hand. Tan broke down in tears after embracing one of the flight attendants, while Wang simply bowed to the waiting crowd, humility etched across his face. They didn't just save a plane, they saved 147 lives. One aviation official commented, "It was a miracle in the sky." The world reacts. News of their heroism swept across social media like wildfire. Hashtags like #WangSkyHero and #Captain Tan Songyun trended globally, with fans and celebrities alike praising their bravery. Singer and friend Lee Ronghao tweeted, "Forget acting awards. Give them the Medal of Honor." Even international pilots commended the duo, noting that their composure and ability to execute under duress rivaled that of trained professionals. Love, legends, or just luck? Naturally, fans began to speculate. Could the bond between Wang and Tan Songyun be more than professional? Eyewitnesses reported subtle glances, the way their hands lingered after landing, and the whisper Tan gave Wang just before exiting the cockpit. We really flew through this together. Whether it's the beginning of a new romance or simply a friendship forged in fire, one thing is clear. Wang Kai and Tan Songyun have become a symbol of courage, unity, and grace under pressure. The sky isn't the limit. It's just the beginning. While producers and directors may rush to turn their real-life heroics into a blockbuster film, Wang Kai and Tan Songyun remain grounded in gratitude. In a statement posted the next morning, Wang Kai wrote, "I'm not a hero. We just did what had to be done. I'll never forget those 30,000 feet." Tan added, "In that moment, fear was real, but so was faith. And together, we found a way home." From screen stars to sky saviors, their story will be told for years, not just as a tale of turbulence, but of triumph. And who knows? Maybe next time you board a flight, you'll look into the cockpit and wonder, what if the ones flying the plane are your heroes in more ways than one? Hearts in the Cockpit. The calm after the storm. As the world continued to buzz over the astonishing mid-air miracle, Wang Kai and Tan Songyun found themselves navigating a new kind of turbulence, not of the physical kind, but emotional. In the days following the emergency landing, praise flooded in from every corner of the globe, and the duo were thrust into a spotlight neither of them expected. But amidst the applause, honors, and breathless headlines, something deeper stirred. A quiet intimacy born not from scripts or spotlights, but from shared fear, trust, and survival. From debriefing rooms to hospital bedsides. After landing, both actors were rushed for routine medical evaluations. Tan Songyun, whose adrenaline had sustained her composure in the air, reportedly collapsed from exhaustion moments after stepping into the ambulance. Wang Kai stayed by her side the entire time, refusing to leave even as medics offered him a separate gurney. "She didn't let go of his hand," said one hospital staff member. Even unconscious, her fingers stayed curled around his. Doctors later confirmed that aside from minor dehydration and extreme fatigue, both were in stable health, a miracle considering the mental strain they endured. Yet, it wasn't their vitals that had fans and insiders most concerned. It was the quiet, almost sacred bond they now seemed to share. The silent moments that spoke volumes. 3 days after the incident, the two appeared publicly at a press conference arranged by the airline and civil aviation authorities. Dressed simply, without glam or stylistic drama, they stood side by side, faces serene but eyes still echoing the tension of the skies. When asked how they managed to remain calm, Wang Kai smiled slightly and said, "I had Songyun. I wasn't alone." Tan glanced at him, blinking back emotion before adding, "And I had him. That's why we landed." That moment, the subtle pause, the way their gazes lingered, sparked headlines more powerful than any movie release. Wang Kai and Tan Songyun, more than just co-pilots. The nation responds. Award nominations followed. Wang Kai and Tan Songyun were both given honorary recognition from the Civil Aviation Administration of China. A bronze plaque with their names was placed at Tianjin Binhai International Airport, etched with the words, "In the sky where chaos reigned, they brought calm." Students from aviation academies sent handwritten letters. Airlines offered both of them lifetime VIP access. Even the president of China issued a statement commending their bravery and discipline. But in the midst of national celebration, Wang Kai and Tan Songyun retreated to quieter places, together. A hidden getaway and unspoken feelings. Paparazzi lenses caught only a few blurry glimpses of the pair in the week that followed, boarding a private car in matching baseball caps, walking near a quiet lake, and entering a secluded mountain villa owned by one of Wang Kai's close friends. It was later revealed that the villa had no signal, no internet, no cameras, no reporters. Just silence, trees, and time to breathe. Sources close to them hinted that the pair needed to process what they'd been through, not just physically, but emotionally. One insider shared, they weren't just passengers in danger. They saved lives. That changes something deep inside. And when you do it hand in hand with someone, it binds you. Behind closed doors. The confession. A week later, during a closed interview with Phoenix News, Tan Songyun broke her silence. "I've never felt so afraid in my life," she said softly. But I've also never felt so sure of someone. Kai never flinched, and when everything around me was shaking, his voice grounded me. When asked if something romantic had blossomed in the cockpit, she hesitated, then smiled. "I'll say this," she replied. "We flew through a storm together. You don't come out of something like that unchanged." The internet exploded, back in the spotlight, but changed forever. They finally reappeared at a charity gala 1 month later, looking radiant and relaxed. As they walked the carpet together, hands brushing but not quite holding, reporters called out questions. "Are you a couple now? What's next after the sky?" Wang Kai turned to Tan Songyun, offering her his arm. She took it. He looked directly at the cameras and said, "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." And that was all it took. A new chapter, beyond the clouds. Producers and networks scrambled to adapt their story into a film, while fans rallied online for a series titled Altitude of Love. The aviation community began lobbying for Wang Kai and Tan Songyun to become official ambassadors for national flight safety campaigns. But even as the world tried to write their story, the two remained grounded in something more personal. Friendship turned to partnership. Fear turned to admiration. And somewhere in the heart of a crisis, something beautifully rare took flight. An unspoken love not built on glamour, but on grit, grace, and a cockpit at 30,000 feet. As one fan poetically wrote, "They entered the sky as stars. They came down as heroes. And now they rise again, this time, in each other's hearts." Epilogue. Where they are now. Months later, Wang Kai and Tan Songyun announced they'd co-founded an aviation education fund for underprivileged students, named the Altitude Project. Their mission: to ensure that courage isn't limited to fame and that anyone, anywhere, can rise above the storm. And every now and then, when asked about their future, Tan just smiles and says, "We already flew through a storm. What else can scare us now?" Indeed, their love story didn't begin on land. It was born in the sky. And now it's soaring,